Now, Walter Sisulu University has released the name of its senior official who was gunned down yesterday evening. Sinethemba Mpambane was deputy vice-chancellor at the Mthatha campus. He was shot several times as he entered the main gate to his home. Police are still hunting for the suspects. Let's take you to Newsroom Africa's Xoli Mngambi, who is in Mthatha now. A very good evening to you, Xoli. I understand that you are actually inside the compound where Mr. Mpambane lived.
You're absolutely right, Masa. Good evening to you. I am indeed inside the compound that Mr. Mpambane stayed in. And in this compound also resides the king of Abathembu Nation. And he is my guest tonight to react to the gruesome murder that happened literally at his doorstep. Gumgani, good evening to you. Thank you very much for making time for us. Let's understand your reaction to what happened here last night. The National Commissioner of the Police was actually even here this evening to come and see for himself the crime scene. What is your reaction to what has happened here?
Honestly speaking, my brother, we are saddened by the news. One of the things that we despise most is for such an atrocity to happen at my doorstep. But we must understand, in our culture, we do love to send our condolences to the family of the deceased, the DVC. We regret what has happened. But in the same spirit, we would like to show that we are not pleased by how the management or administration of the institution goes on with its business.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean is that only a few days ago, we lost students who are in the same institution.
Yes.
Him being part of the management and administration has played a very negative role towards sympathizing with the students. Meaning that some of the things we expected the institution to do to support the tragedies that had befallen the students, they have played no role whatsoever. And he seems to be on the pivotal center for that.
When you say he seems to be at the pivotal center of this, what exactly does that mean, Your Majesty? Because this is someone who, through statements that we are seeing, is described as having been a solid leader who is hardworking. You seem to be talking about him in a somewhat negative light.
Just like everybody sees the president as an angel, but on the ground here we see a devil in action. Just like some people would see Benjamin Netanyahu as a hero, we just see a commander-in-chief reducing himself to be a commander-in-chief. So these guys, they do in public say some of the most decent and respectable things, but their actions on the ground don't in fact concur with what they speak, with what they preach.
The Commissioner of the Police also telling us that what was found in his possession, or let me say in the car he was traveling in, was a laptop including an amount of money nearing 30,000 rand. It was about 27,000 to be exact. Do any of those things raise alarm for you, or you're going to leave it to the police to investigate? And I'm merely asking you this question because my understanding is that you are deeply involved in trying to root out the rot, as has been explained to me, at Walter Sisulu University?
Look, my brother, a few days ago, there is an organization that assists the university. It hosted a meeting to try and see what can be done about the situation at that institution. My point to them was that, gentlemen, you seem to be finding the students being on the wrong lane, while you don't do anything about the administration that the students are complaining about. You know? And look at the tragedies that have befallen the students. The National High Commissioner has never stepped foot here. But simply because this is a high profile and a high ranking personality, he now comes. And we've been complaining that neither the DVC speaks when such things happen to students, neither the VC speaks, nor the Chancellor himself, let alone the Governing Council. And all these are the organs of either running the institution or managing the institution. So when these things go wrong for the students, they celebrate and they don't give a damn. But when these things go wrong for one of them, they want us to cry crocodile tears in support of the wrong that has befallen them, when they don't even share one drop of tear when a student has died. One of the most, pathetic things is that they don't even support in funerals for those who have passed on. They don't even support in supporting those who are hurt and actually disabled by their mismanagement and maladministration.
A final point on this subject, Gumgani. The Commissioner and ourselves were waiting inside your residence here tonight because I had come as, of course, having been invited to conduct this interview. But the Commissioner couldn't see you tonight.
Yes.
Is this part of the reason you didn't want to see him, because you say he only comes when one of them has died?
Not necessarily. Unfortunately, you might have noticed that I had a very, very tight meeting here involving Ngcobo people who are complaining about the mischief of the municipality there. So when you come to my place without an appointment, you need to wait so that I summarize what I am actually busy at. So if you can't wait, it means you are too big for your boots. You're riding a high horse. So you are supposed to wait until I'm through so that I can pay attention to him. I'm also bitter about the fact that he did not do so.
I'd like to touch on a different subject matter, and it is what has befallen not only Mthatha but other regions within the Eastern Cape, the floods. Gumgani. Mthatha is worst affected.
Yes.
The numbers keep rising of people who were swept away. This is an opportunity that we have to hear your voice about what has happened here, and are you happy with the response?
The response is pathetic. The response is that of tortoises. You know, when you look at what happened, it is not the rain, it is not the pure rain that brought this. It's man-made error. And this needs to be investigated thoroughly, because the water was far too much for the rain. that actually fell on that day. And it means something wrong happened somewhere, somehow.
You touch on a matter, Kumgani, that I specifically asked the question, yes, or the president on, yes, and it was that people were suggesting that something could have gone wrong with the Mthatha Dam, and the president very briefly said, Mthatha Dam does not have sluice gates, which means you can open it up and it releases water that gushes out in uncontrollable speed. Are you suggesting that something is still amiss, or are you saying that the president, even with that response, there is something that someone out there is hiding about what actually occurred here?
I do believe so, because I believe he's briefed by liars. Besides being briefed by liars, he has to protect the skin of the African National Congress. I wonder if the skin of the African National Congress is more precious than the people who have passed on there. If he denies the fact that it is the dam, then he should know what it is. And for me not to know, I depend on their investigation to tell us what has happened. And if they don't tell us, we are going to investigate on our own, and we are going to find out.
If Ukumgani has the capability, this will be the criticism from them, if Ukumgani has the capability to investigate what has happened, Ukumgani should also lend a helping hand to the community. That will probably be the response. And so the question will be, what has the king done for his subjects?
They behave like bulldogs who don't want poodles to bark with them. You know? So let the bulldogs do the job first, and when they are tired, we poodles will come in. We cannot help. We are helping right now the survivors. We are in the front of feeding the survivors, while they are stealing the very food donated by people, the very blankets and things that are donated by people. The ANC people are stealing those things. They steal from food to blankets to mattresses, everything. They even lock up food while people are hungry.
Those are very serious accusations, Kumgani.
It's not an accusation.
They're going to say, where's the proof?
I have it. If anyone wants proof, I have it. And remember, my forest is the people. The proof lies in the people. The wrath is done to the people, not to trees or animals. And the people speak. And the people know what has been done to them by these, surrogates. They are no longer here for us, for people. They are here for their corrupt ends. Everything that is put on the table, they only see it for their own pockets and never for another person's benefit.
It will not be lost on people that you seem to have a very close relationship with the EFF party. How will you handle criticism that says you are criticizing the ANC because you are a member of the EFF?
Being a member of the EFF is not something new in this South African politics. I was once a member of the African National Congress, and nobody said anything about that. It was all good and glorious. I was also a member of the DA. The ANC went about complaining and all that. You can complain if you want, but it's my political decision, my right to choose. And then I'm in the EFF under the same, influence of thought.
Final question to you, Kumgani, and it is to do with part of what you have leveled at the door of the government of the day, particularly here in this municipality whether it is Abathembu or King Sabata Dalindyebo. A story has come out, and it has not been denied, even by the MEC, that the humanitarian organization that is providing assistance to the people that are affected, giving them free water, those people have now been intimidated. I'm talking about the organization that's providing this water, intimidated by people who are contracted to the municipality to go around giving people in the water tanks. What is your call? I asked the MEC of Kokta yesterday whether anyone has been arrested, and he said it's in the police's hands. What would your message be, particularly to those that are doing the intimidation?
Of course, the intimidation comes from the African National Congress and its surrogates. We are not surprised. It's not the first time they do such things. And we are no longer able to watch the ANC, masquerade around as some bully, as some owner of people's things. The only thing now that is supposed to be done is to get the ANC out of power at all levels, because it has proved that its purpose here is thuggery, nothing else. So we are sick and tired of the African National Congress. We are not even prepared to be talking about its mischief. It's enough. What we have seen, it's enough for us to group, come together, unite, and put this scourge out of our way.
Kumgani, I'd like to thank you very much for your time, and I do thank you sincerely.